This is Lily Scraps. Today I'm brought to you from Honey Bee Stamps. I designed for them, and I've made this cute little card with a new stamp set called Flicky Friends. And it comes with 3 coordinating stamp sets. The first one is called Flicky Friends. Second one is More Flicky Friends, which has a penguin and a reindeer. The best one I find is this Flicky Sentiments. It has so many stamps on it. It's called I Love You Snow Much. Nice little play on words. I live in northern Canada and we get a lot of snow. So at Valentines we are buried in snow. So I thought this would be perfect to give to my husband. My Zig Clean color real brush pens for the bear, and the backgrounds I stamped make my background. So of course on these 3 stamp sets you will notice that there's a variety of little snowflakes all over in the background. So I have taken a bunch of little snowflakes and added them to my little block. I'm going to take some Marina Mist, Stampin' Up! Ink, and I am going to fill up this whole panel with snowflakes. Ink it up. I'm just going to do a tester, make sure that it looks good. And then I just go off the paper and I rotate and I stamp all over. So I'm going to put my snowflakes back on because they are so small I don't want to lose them. And to fill in those other little spots, I'm going to take this teeny little heart that's on the set and I am going to put hearts, but I'm going to make little hearts all randomly throughout here, and there's a smudge there, so I'm going to cover it up and fill the hollow areas with some hearts. So there's my background. So I don't even have to use pattern paper. I can make my own with the tiny little stamps. To make my little snowbank for the snowman, or actually I'm using a bear to sit on, I'm going to use the same size panel. And from Little Inkers, I have these little border dies. I am going to cut myself a little snowbank. So I'm going to take it to my Big Shot, which is right beside me. And I have a nice little stitch throughout. So this we're just going to stick at the bottom like this for our teddy bear to sit on. So I just need a little bit of glue. So I just get a little squirt of that. I got a little gumpy on the end. You get a little squiggle. We're going to match it up, align it up, and there's our little snow hill for him to sit on. So that I'm going to set aside to dry, and while that's drying I am going to take a piece of watercolor paper. This is just Artist Loft, and then I'm going to use my Hero Arts black ink die, and I'm going to take my little bear, ink him up really good, and I'm going to stamp him on the watercolor paper just like that. And this is a great ink because it doesn't bleed when you use water with it. Now, this is the fun part, and I need to forewarn you that I am a beginner at this. I am just learning how to color with these. There's only a few videos I found on YouTube so far, and I haven't had these long. So I'm going to use 3 shades of brown. I have what we have. We have dark oatmeal, we have beige, and I have brown. I'm going to take the lightest color, and then, like I said, I'm not a professional at this. I'm learning. So what I do is I just take my watercolor brush and I'm going to color in the bear. I'm going to do his ears because they're small. I'm going to fully color them in. But for the bear, I'm just going to color the edge like this. And I'm going to go all around his body, dark oatmeal. And I want the lighting to all be on one side, so I'm going to pick the left side. So I'm going to put some on his ear, and I put quite a bit on this side, on top and around this arm, and into his belly, and bring it up. I'm just going to put a little bit on his foot, and I'm watercolor. Not my watercolor brush, but just my paintbrush with some water on it. And I'm going to pull all that color out into the center of the bear, just like this. And it's going to drag the color out. Add a little bit more water. I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see. Move this up a bit there, and then pull those colors. I'm going to pull that color, a little bit more water, and then I'm going to grab from his little feet, his ears. I'm going to blend it a bit. Okay, so now I want to add a little bit more shading into him. So I'm going to grab, while it's wet, I'm going to grab the brown. And the brown is going to kind of bleed into the paper a little easier. I'm going to go all along the left side, below his foot and into his belly, and bring it up. And just a tad over here at the bottom. Maybe a little in here, and just a tiny bit over by his ear. And then I'm going to get some more water, and I'm going to blend that in and bring it over. And I'm planning to cut this out, so I'm not being super careful. And just to tone it down back again, I'm going to bring in some more of that beige and go over top where it's wet, and bring my brush in that's wet, there, in his cheeks right here and here, and in his ears. And then I'm going to take the water and blend that out a bit. Not used to this paintbrush, barely use it. And then take some water and let that bleed out a bit, and take some of this harshness of the pink away. So now that my bear is all colored and dry, I am going to fussy cut him now. Inking around the sides with my memento marker, black marker, and I just rub my marker along the edge of the cutout. That just gives it a more finished look when it's on a card. There. And for my bear, I also are going to need a little accent. So we want him to hold a little heart, and on this heart I'm going to add the word much, but before I do that I need to color it. This is just a die cut heart from my silhouette, so I'm going to add some pink to the heart with my marker. And then I'll take my paintbrush and just kind of blend it all together. I'm going to stamp the word much. Right in the center for the card. So I have some fun foam, just some white fun foam, and I'm going to stick that on with my Tombow glue, my multi-mono Tombow glue. Oh, come on. Just going to squeeze some of that out. And then glue it to the back. like so. And then for my bear, he's gonna be popped up with some dimensionals, with these Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. Gonna add him right to the center of my card. Oh, I forgot to put my I love you snow much. So right over top of my bear's head. This would be a lot easier if I had done it before I had put all the backings on. Got a little ahead of myself. So I have the snow. And now I'm going to add my I love you. And I'll ink that up. Just it. I'm just going to put that right over top of the snow. I love you, snow. And then we'll add the little heart with a dimensional. And that's going to go right between his paws, just like that. And to give that a little bit of shine, I'll add some Wing Castella, and I just dab it so it doesn't react the watercolor too much, because it picks it up. And I might even make the little hearts glitter in the background. Get me glittering there and I can't stop. There. And then we're gonna set, oh, we need some linen thread. I have some Stampin' Up! Linen thread right here. Stampin' Up! Linen thread. Gonna add that on. Gonna wrap, snip off my ends. And then I have the little panel all made. I just spread out the threads a bit like that. And then to build my card, I have this background snowflake piece, which comes from Little Inkers. Top folding card, white top folding card, 3.5, 4 1/4 by 5.5. I'm just going to cover this up because I don't want to get it inky. So what I do next is I glue this down like this onto my card with some Tombow Mono glue, and I just kind of put some dots, lines, and then I line it up on my card. Okay. And then I just take my little panel here and add some more glue to the back of this and center it right. Okay, so now my card's all put together. All I would need is some embellishments. So here's the previous card I had made. So for embellishment, I added some wood veneer snowflakes. I added 3 of them in that triangle pattern. And then also, to give it a little dimension, I added some glossy accents to his paws and to his little nose. I'm trying to focus. There we go. His paws and his little nose and his eyes. And look how much that heart just glitters. So I hope you enjoyed my video and is brought to you by Honeybee Stamps. Please go check out their website and please leave a comment. Thank you. Good night.